It's a beautiful journey of 47 years. And to make a film like this is not an easy thing. We call it as pan-Indian, but this is a real pan-Indian film. We tried to make it a pan-Indian film long back, called Sazaya Kalapani. It was our production. So it was our dream to make a film like this. And finally, Prithviraj, thank you, Prithi, for making a wonderful, it's a magic. This is not a film, actually, this is our sweat and blood. And we have come out with a trilogy, and we started with Lucifer, and this is Empuraan, and we'll come out with another film. And I don't know, I don't want to speak more about this film because I think our film will speak to you. We want to make a film like that, like Ocean 11 or something like that. All the actors, top actors together. Not, I mean, the top means it's in a different aspect. Like, people should meet and we should make wonderful films. We can make unbelievable films. India can make. And this is like a gate crash for us. We are trying to come out with something big from our state. Entity-wise, it was Kerala. They call it as a small industry, but we have done so many things. Like, a couple of times I've told this. We made the first CinemaScope, process 70mm, 3D, first co-production, and now first IMAX from Malayalam. So thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you to the audience. Thank you to the people who are going to watch the film, because the kind of reception for this film is unbelievable. We did a teaser launch in New York, in Times Square. People are waiting to watch this film. This film has got a magic, and let the Almighty decide the rest of the thing. I want to watch this film with the audience. So we are going to watch this film on 27th, early morning, 6 o'clock. Yeah, in Cochin. Yeah. We have to, definitely we have to respect the audience also. Yeah. So it's a great moment for us also to watch a brilliant film like this with the audience.
Directing a film is never easy. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of decision making. It's constant, thought process on putting together a giant film, especially when you're doing something like this. But when we got together and decided that we are going to follow up the huge success of Lucifer with a second part to what has always been conceived as a trilogy by Mr. Murali Gopi, the writer sitting here, I knew deep down that for the second part of the franchise, the ideation and the conception that I had in mind is going to be extremely challenging to pull off as just a Malayalam film. Because the scale at which we have attempted this and the canvas against which the story needs to be told is really the deep end of the waters for our industry. We have not tried to do something like this before. So there is nothing for us to fall back on. Very much like Sazaya Kalapani, like Sir did so many years ago. We really didn't have a precedent to look upon and learn what could go wrong or what is the right way to do it. We didn't know. I remember 2022, I think, I flew to Sir's office in Dubai, and that's where I gave him my first narration of this film, of Empuraan. And 50% of my heart was telling me, he's going to listen to the narration. My producer, Mr. Anthony Perumbavoor, is also there. And they're going to very politely tell me, listen, fantastic, great to be dreaming like this, but you'll have to let go of this one because it's not going to be possible. But as soon as I finished the narration, he told me, we are doing this, now let's go for dinner. So that confidence is what really spurred me on. And then I remember all through the dinner, it was me reminding him, but you realize, right? I mean, this is like, So I kept telling him, but you realize this, I need to travel to 6 countries. I said, yeah. And this is like this, yeah. And we have the sequence where there's, the helicopter, that. And he said, yeah. So the confidence that himself and Mr. Anthony Perumbavoor gave me is the reason why we are all sitting here today. Secondly, see, with people like Mr. Gokulam Gopalan backing us, thankfully, Malayalam cinema is today at a place where we can think of big budgets and big canvases because people like him who are truly passionate about cinema, right from, I don't know if you know of a film called Prithviraj with the great Mammootty sir leading it. Mr. Gopalan used to think of films like that back then, which was again unheard of in Malayalam in terms of its budget, its scale. But he used to do it because he believed in it with conviction and he truly loved cinema as an art form and a medium. So budgets are now maybe accessible for us with people like him backing projects like these. Where we used to fail, I believe, as an industry is in setting up a structure where we can then bring our cinema to people across the country and across the world. Malayalam always has had an illustrious heritage of making fantastic cinema, but I think we were lacking, and I've said this to my friends in the Mumbai media before, where we were lacking is our ability to properly go through an exhibition network and bring it to theaters across the country and across the world, which has been evolving at a frenetic pace, thankfully, recently. Which is where people like my dear friend, Mr. Anil Tarhani, comes into the equation because he has one of the strongest distribution networks in the country, and thanks Anil again for that one midnight phone call from me and just saying, yeah, okay, Prithvi. And I promise that Malayalam cinema will now continuously be bugging you. But it's really kind of him to show the kind of faith that he has in this film and in me. And it means a lot to us that when we make a film with such aspirations from one part of the country, and we dream of being able to take it to every corner of the country and the world, that distributors like himself, like companies with such heritage like AA Films, then put their conviction on us and throw their weight behind us and tell us, now let's go all out. That's what really matters. That's been the change, actually. That's where we have really sort of started flourishing as an industry. So there is Anil for North, and there's very dear friends of mine, Hombale for Karnataka, and Gopalan sir is distributing it himself in Tamil Nadu. And Andhra Telangana, again, a close friend of mine, Mr. Dil Raju, is distributing it. And in Kerala, of course, we have the market leaders, Ashirwad Cinemas. And across the world, from the UAE GCC to North America to Europe to Asia Pacific, we have managed to tie up with absolutely top-rated, top-of-the-line leading distributors to bring this film to theaters across the world. So I really hope that this becomes a very accessible piece of cinema for everyone around the world. And if that is indeed the case, and if this will then go on to hopefully do well and set a benchmark, this could be the beginning of a lot of things for Malayalam cinema, which in turn would mean a lot of things for our overall aspiration of eventually amalgamating into this giant Indian film industry. So let's hope we're on the right direction. Just before beginning to shoot this film, I was wrapping up another film as an actor. And I got seriously injured while shooting an action sequence. And I had to go through a really complicated knee surgery. And anyone who's done a complex ACL, meniscus, PCL surgery will know that the rehabilitation recovery process is quite complex and it's very challenging on your mind, especially for someone like me who's very physically active and out there and very busy. It's very challenging. So I was at my rock bottom. And I truly believe the reason why I'm back at 100% today is because I forced myself to start shooting this film. And guess what? The first schedule we shot at minus 12 degrees Celsius at 12,300 feet above sea level in Ladakh. No oxygen, bitingly cold, and one of the most challenging sequences to pull off for the entire film. But I think what happened was when I started shooting the film and I got involved with it, it really sort of pulled me through and it kept me motivated and it kept me wanting to go back to set, and I was really thrilled about what was happening in front of me on the monitor. So I think I should really thank Mohanlal sir, my producers, and the fact that this film happened at that particular time, because it really helped with my rehabilitation, I think. It was like my personal doctor. There really isn't a Malayali who's not a Mohanlal or a Mammootty fan. Yeah, I mean, there really isn't. So these two gentlemen are no longer just actors or stars for us. They are deeply ingrained into our systemic cultural thinking. So for any Malayali, yeah, I mean, we might just sit across a coffee table and argue about who's better. Oh no, he does comedy better, he does that better, he does this better. But these two guys, we love them. And there really isn't a Malayali who'll go back and say that I'm not a fan of Mammootty and Mohanlal. We all are. I mean, I'm not going to claim that I did it all by myself. I had a wonderful team. My team of assistants and my production design team, my cinematography team. I've said this before. The team that worked with me in Lucifer and the second part of Lucifer, which is this film, Empuraan, I honestly, truly believe is a team that is good enough to pull off a project of any magnitude in any industry, in any place in the world. So I'm lucky, I'm blessed to have a team that backs me that way. And for this film, I was especially lucky to have a group of wonderful actors who understood my film, who understood what Murali has written, who comprehended each moment of the character arc themselves, and gave me absolutely stunning performances. A lot of them are sitting here. Abhimanyu and, Shubhangi, Nikhat, so many of them, Aishwarya, so many of them are sitting here. Behzad, all these guys, I don't know how, I'm assuming these guys are familiar to you because they're all from the Hindi film industry. But I'm going to put my head out there and say that I'm proud of the fact that a lot of these guys, if they ask them which is your best performance over the last few years, I think they might pick this film because they're all that good in the film. So yeah, I was blessed with a wonderful team. But yes, when we set out to do this film, I was very particular that I'm not going to make this a green mat film. I will not make this a studio film. I had decided long back that I'm not going to have my actors stand in front of a green mat and shoot the scenes like that. And that's one of the first things I told Mohanlal sir also, that I want to go to real locations, actual filming locations, and capture everything in real. So which then meant that because of how the film is written and because of how the story traverses, I had to spend a very long time in finding these locations, which took me almost 2 years of traveling across the world. If I had to pick one favorite location of all that I shot this film in, I think both Sir and me, we loved Santa Fe in New Mexico. We shot quite a few elaborate sequences in the US. And of all the locations in the US that we traveled to, I think Santa Fe, New Mexico was very, very inspiring for a filmmaker because that's how the place looks. Plus, yeah, I mean, that's very close to the Oppenheimer site. So Oppenheimer had just released, or was about to release, and all the hype was about that film, and we landed in Santa Fe. So we got to go around and see the place and all that. So that's a memory that I'll carry.
In this subject also, I got a chance to present my personality because I love Mr. Mohanlal and Prithviraj and other all people, including Manju and all actors and including Mr. Anthony Perumbavoor. As far as so many, 2 years back, we discussed with Anthony Perumbavoor when we are discussing all about the cinema and all. But last moment, I failed to join this joint. Last moment, so what I told you that I believe in God. Last time, these people told me to join this production, and I joined. Definitely, I believe this picture must be a very glorious and very famous throughout the world, I believe.
I'm actually at a great loss of words when I'm asked to speak at pre-release functions like this, because it is like mothers talking about their children. So I would just say this. I hope it is safe to say that many of you present here, if not all of you, have seen the first part of this movie, first part of this franchise. So that is the baseline of what we are going to see here as this film. That provides the baseline for all that is going to happen in this franchise with this film and the conclusive part of this franchise. So it is, I just hope it's going to be a great experience.
Hello, everyone. Sitting here, I can't think of any other emotion than gratitude. Being part of a good film is any day a pleasure, but when it is such a good, this film, a film with such grandeur, such style, such anticipation, it's a a whole different level of excitement is happening inside me. I just have to thank Mr. Prithviraj and Mr. Murli for trusting me with Priyadarshini, and of course, Shri Anthony and Shri Gopalan sir, and the wonderful cast and crew for making this film look like what you're seeing it now. And I really hope everyone loves the film while watching it, and it's going to be a great experience watching this film in theaters.
What I love about your film trajectory is that you actually played his biggest fan in a movie called Mohanlal, and then you're here, like standing
Yes.
up against him with all this power and might.
Yes, of course. Working with Lalitan is any day a blessing for any actor. So I've been blessed to have worked with him in few films, and I can proudly say that most of my appreciated, noted, and loved performances and roles have been with him. So I should thank him for the amazing space that he has given me as a co-actor. It's any day a blessing, and I would never be satisfied with the number of films that I get to do with the mega legend like Lalitan.